Tonight on Cronkite News, we'll give you an inside look at what's happening at polling places across Arizona in real time. We'll talk about who Arizonans are casting their ballots for, provide updates on vote tallies, and more.
And election updates. We'll be sharing the latest Arizona and national polling numbers here during our 2020 election special.
This election cycle has presented new challenges for both the Biden and Trump presidential campaigns. With advanced technology, we'll show you exactly how a battleground state like Arizona could impact the 2020 election.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to this special edition of Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Sean Rice.
And I'm Milan Andrade. This is Election 2020. Thank you for joining us.
Tonight on Cronkite News, we'll keep you updated on the latest 2020 election numbers here in Arizona and nationally.
Stay tuned to get original content from polling locations across Arizona, updates on election counting, and more. This is an election like no other, and you won't want to miss our coverage. The polls just closed in Arizona. Let's begin in Maricopa County, where voters had already casted a record of 2.3 million ballots before this election day. Cronkite News reporter Dylan McKim joins us live from the Maricopa County Tabulation Center. Dylan?
Yeah, we are approaching 8 o'clock here in Arizona, and that's when those early mail-in ballot results will be posted on the Maricopa County Elections Committee's website, and that's when we'll get a real sense of what Arizonans are voting like this year. County officials told us today that as of 5:45 p.m., 152,000 people voted in person in Maricopa County alone. Now, all those in-person ballots will have to be tabulated at those polling sites, and then those results are going to be sent here to the Maricopa County Election Central. But there are some ballots that county officials are calling late earlies. Now, what's a late early? Those are when people request mail-in ballots and don't turn them back in until right before Election Day or even today on Election Day. So it's going to take some time for election officials really to count those ballots, verify them, and make sure they are official. In Phoenix, Dylan McKim, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News reporters traveled all around the state today talking to voters. Most polling places around Maricopa County did not have many lines, but there were a couple that did. Taylor Tassler-Oatley takes us around the valley.
Music serenaded voters at the Burton Bar Public Library in Phoenix. They were in and out with no lines here. It was a different story in Chandler at the Environmental Education Center, a full parking lot and wait times up to 30 minutes, but the line moved quickly. At the Scottsdale Resort in McCormick Ranch, voters expressed that they wanted their voices heard, and that's why they voted in person today. Sydney Rodden and Lydia Welty said they are voting for presidential nominee Joe Biden because the stakes are too high.
And when the stakes are this high and it's just like, you just have to be out here and get your voice heard. Like for me, you can care about whatever you want to care about, but just make sure you're being vocal and active about making sure that those things are heard.
Dennis and Lenore Monsione voted for President Trump because his stance on abortion, taxes, and how he has handled the economy during the COVID-19 pandemic.
The economy has never been as stable before COVID as it was with
He's never been given a fair shake.
Right.
It's just been, and we haven't seen Democrats
do anything,
help the Americans at all, except for going after Trump. So we don't see a value in what the Democrats are bringing to this table right now.
One Tempe voter expressed his appreciation for the poll workers.
Props to the people who are volunteering for this day. It's an important day in our American society, so thanks to them, we can actually go through this, especially during a pandemic.
Taylor Tassler-Oatley, Cronkite News.
Now we turn to Arizona's second populated city, Tucson. We've got crews in PIMA County to see how the election process is working there. Voting for many is a civic duty. These voters want to make sure their voices are heard, but some voters are worried about the cost of their vote.
Just as being a minority and being out in town and being scared. Worried for my kids, they look like a stereotype Native American, dark hair, dark skin, and being worried that if they're out on the street, they're going to get attacked just color. So I think that's something that I've seen and something that needs to be changed.
Although this may mainly be because of COVID-19, polling marshals say they are doing everything they can to make sure voters are safe, which even includes letting people vote from their cars. Those we talked to emphasized how important it is to be voting in this year's election.
Arizona's second most populated county, Pima County, is where Arizona's ballots are being counted. Cronkite News reporter Alex GAUL is there now. Alex?
Hey guys, we are in PIMA County election headquarters here in Tucson, Arizona. Polls have just closed here in PIMA County, of course, but things are still very slow here behind me in the central counting room. PIMA County expects to release its first returns for this election at about 8 p.m. local time here in Arizona. But one thing that's changed this counting process this election season is, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic, as the Pima County Recorder's Office told us earlier today.
You have to remember when we planned for this election, we started in 2019, okay? And so our presidential election, this is my 7th presidential election I've conducted here, okay? And out of 270 some elections. We can't work from home. You know, ballots have to stay here. Voters need to come here.
That thing that looks like a gym locker, that's where the servers are, where the actual stuff is.
Pima County has counted about 400,000 ballots already this election season. And of course, you can view the ballot counting live here at the Pima County Recorder's Office and election headquarters online at their website. We're live in Tucson. Alex Gaul, Cronkite News.
We also traveled north to Flagstaff, where the low this morning was in the 30s and there was even a light drizzle. But that did not deter voters. The Flagstaff Mall polling location opened to people already waiting in line. However, by 10 a.m., the rush had passed and voters were able to quickly cast their ballots.
I kind of expected like long lines and a big wait, but it went so smooth. I was in and out of there in like 15 minutes.
Eric Shriver had to register to vote in his hometown due to the pandemic, and he chose to vote in person today because he enjoys the excitement of on-site participation.
The Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community took a nonpartisan stand on this election, asking everyone to get out and vote. Community team members encouraged people who voted to call and text friends and get them to cast a ballot, stressing the importance of taking part in this election. Free t-shirts, mugs, stickers, and gift bags were given to those who voted at the Salt River Pima Community Center today.
It's very important, especially at this time. Especially because I'm getting older and my grandkids and great-grandkids are coming up, and I want them to have a better life than we did.
Our election coverage looks much different than it did 4 years ago. Back then, we had reporters live at watch parties with both Republicans and Democrats. This year, due to COVID, our reporters are stationed at ballot tabulation centers, where we can ensure social distancing. But you can count on Cronkite News and Arizona PBS to bring you the latest from around the state on air and at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Coming up on Cronkite News, we'll give you the latest Arizona voting numbers, the latest on the presidential race, the Senate race, and more after the break.
It's no surprise that Arizona is a key battleground state in this 2020 presidential election. But will Arizona turn blue after voting Republican in the 2016 presidential election? We'll have that analysis on that question after the break.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed, discover new favorites from PBS, and local content from your PBS station.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. Thanks to PBS Passport, you can watch all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love.
We're still waiting on the latest polls numbers to come in. We'll keep an eye on this and let you know as soon as the results start coming in.
Many are speculating that Arizona will vote Democratic in this election, even though the state voted Republican in 2016. Arizona, along with other states such as Pennsylvania and Michigan, are considered key battleground states in this election. But what does it all mean? Cronkite News reporter Tyler Mannion is here to explain. Tyler?
Yeah, Sean, we're going to look at the big battleground states across America. So those are the ones in yellow on our map here. We're not going to look at the rest because CNN has determined those that are safe. So let's look back, right? 2016. This stretch right here, this is the blue wall that you just mentioned, Sean, with Michigan and Pennsylvania included. Minnesota was blue in 2016, but the rest were turned red by President Donald Trump, all by less than 1%. So Joe Biden's going to be looking to turn those back blue, reinforce that blue wall that Democrats love to see. Then we're going to move down in the country. North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. How about Florida specifically? In the last 96 years, no Republican has lost Florida and found their way to the White House. That's going to be huge for President Donald Trump. What about Georgia? Georgia hasn't been blue since 1992. That was Bill Clinton, who was running for president then. He turned it blue. You know what else he did? How about our state of Arizona? He turned it blue in 1996, the last time the Grand Canyon state was blue. Go back another 20 years, though, to find the last time that Texas was blue. That was another Southern Democrat, Jimmy Carter, in 1976. All three of these states that were turned only by Southern Democrats years ago, decades ago, are all in play for Joe Biden tonight. That's why this is a historic election. Let's look at what that really means, though, when we go into the results. Here's what CNN is projecting as of right now. We're going to take a look. They have Joe Biden winning 279 to 163. That's just a projection. Look at Pennsylvania, right? If we take Pennsylvania away, the magic number is 270. We're going to take Pennsylvania away, make it yellow. Now Joe Biden is not winning. So this is why this is so important. President Trump needs to win all of the states nearly on this map that are in yellow right now, and I'll show you why. Pennsylvania, we just said, if he loses that, Joe Biden's the president. How about North Carolina? We make that blue right here. Joe Biden's the president. Send that red again. Georgia is going to be the exact same thing. When we send Georgia blue, Joe Biden's going to be the president. That's going to happen in all these states. So for President Trump to win, look how much I have to tap this screen for President Trump to win. Look at this. All of these states. Now you have President Trump at 278 electoral college votes. That's why his margin is so slim. His range of error is almost non-existent, but Joe Biden has options. He doesn't have to win Pennsylvania. He doesn't have to win Georgia or North Carolina or Florida. He only needs one of these major swing states, and you could see Joe Biden in the White House, guys.
More is writing on today's election results than who holds office. Law enforcement agencies are on alert for possible violence from groups upset by the eventual outcome. Those concerns are especially heightened in Washington, where Cronkite News reporter Tino Giuliano joins us from outside the White House.
Protesters have been here gathering for hours. Polls have been starting to close. And here it's a little bit of an party atmosphere, but the city has been prepared and has been preparing for the past couple of days, just in case the mood takes a turn.
Fences, wooden boards, and barricades. Many buildings in downtown Washington have been covered up or fenced off as the nation's capital prepares for possible election night fallout, and people here are bracing too.
So we are expecting violence, like real violence, not just rioting and burning down something.
Nadine Seiler, an activist who maintains the Black Lives Matter display in Lafayette Square, said she hopes the talk of violence is just that, all talk.
I don't know if I think it's going to reach that, but I haven't made a decision, but I'm going to be here regardless.
But Seth Jones, the director of the Transnational Threats Project at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, believes the threat of election night violence is very real.
I think with a Democratic victory, probably more firearms and explosives.
But the type of public outcry depends on the winner of the presidential race, Jones said.
With something that's more like a Republican Democratic victory, presidential victory, more street level violence for political purposes.
When protests turn violent, Jones said local law enforcement is the best line of defense.
Now, when it comes to larger protests in cities, I think, the first line of defense has to be local law enforcement agencies.
Other groups are calling on a higher authority. The 24-hour National Strategic Prayer Call has set up shop this week north of the White House. One of its members, Richard Stoffel, believes that some rioters are there just for the violence.
The people that are actually doing the rioting, in some ways, they maybe don't really care.
Seiler says she has seen it all as she helps maintain the Black Lives Matter fence, but she said many have told her to buy a bulletproof vest.
We know the threat is real, but I still, part of me, want to believe that on the whole, that there's more talk and it's more like trying to intimidate.
But she said that won't stop her from being present here.
I'm expecting tension, but I'm prepared for whatever.
Election results continue to trickle in, and organizers say they will be here the rest of the week. In Washington, Tina Giuliano, Cronkite News.
One of the most contested races is between Republican Senator Martha McSally and Democratic candidate Mark Kelly. Let's take a look back at the only debate where these two faced off, and our Stephanie Rosales reports.
Arizona PBS hosted the debate with moderators from the Arizona Republic, KJZZ, and Arizona Public Media. The first question, how the current administration handled the coronavirus pandemic.
Appreciate that at the end of January, the president made a decisive action in order to stop travel from China, something that was highly criticized.
But we've got a serious crisis on our hands. We've got a public health crisis, which spurred an economic crisis. And both of these things have been made worse by a crisis of leadership.
Senator Martha McSally, however, avoided the question as to whether she was proud of her support for President Trump.
Is that a yes or a no for President
Trump? Putting legislation on President Trump's desk.
So you're proud of your support for President Trump?
You look at the legislation we put on his desk, it's to cut Arizona taxes.
With issues covered related to health care, Kelly said he is in support of public health care. He also called McSally out for not being in support of pre-existing conditions and against the Affordable Care Act.
Arizonans already know they can't trust Senator McSally when it comes to health care. She's voted on 4 separate occasions to undermine or eliminate those protections.
I'm fighting for more options for people. Buy insurance across state lines, allow small businesses to band together so they have more choice. Let's provide that taxpayer resources to backstop those with the highest expenses, and let's find more options that protect people with pre-existing conditions.
Both candidates agreed to stronger border security, but Kelly felt the money could be used elsewhere.
To build a wall for 2,000 miles of border, $20 million a mile, those resources could be used for the technology. It could be used for more Border Patrol agents on the border.
Kelly also added that he supports DACA and believes there should be a legal path to citizenship. When asked to touch on this topic, McSally agreed, but said another issue deserves more attention.
But we cannot just address that issue. We've got to address the root issues as well of why we're in this situation in the first place. That's why it's so important for us to continue to secure our border.
In closing, Kelly asked Arizonans for their vote to work together to solve the major issues surrounding the country.
We need independent leadership focused on solving the problems we face, like beating this virus and rebuilding our economy and lowering the cost of health care and prescription drugs.
In her final remarks, McSally explained that this election will decide the Senate majority and asked for 3 more debates before Election Day. Stephanie Rosales, Cronkite News.
Those additional debates did not happen, and the question about McSally's support for President Trump has made national news. It is now up to Arizona voters to decide if Republican Senator McSally will be reelected or if the Democratic challenger Kelly will win the vote.
Polling numbers can't tell a complete story. The opinions, passion, and debates behind those numbers are missing. Our social media experts are taking a look at how Arizonans are reacting to the 2020 election. We'll share these reactions with you when Cronkite News returns.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
Everyone has secrets. Are you protecting someone?
I have no choice.
You do have a choice. You're looking at him.
That's amazing. We could be standing on top of a T-Rex right now.
Women demanded new space and pushed the boundaries of what being a lady means.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station. Sign in and start streaming today.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love.
We've been monitoring social media to see what Arizonans are talking about during this election day. Cronkite News reporter Rosara Wordsworth joins us with what's buzzing. Rosara?
That's right, Sean. We've gone through Twitter and found some of the best moments from #ElectionDay here in Arizona. Donna reminded everyone to vote and make your voice heard. Gabriella tweeted an adorable video of a young Trump supporter rocking out with a sign. And Julia is showing off her I voted sticker because she got to vote for the first time today. Sarah tweeted a picture of a Riding with Biden truck. Maria and friends are spreading the love and candy at the polls. And it looks like a Trump parade in Sun Lakes happened today with Uncle Sam. State Representative Raquel Teran sharing a photo from the Roll to the Polls event where she showed out her support for Joe Biden. To see more coverage from Election Day, you can follow us at Cronkite News on Twitter.
Political ad spending smashed records in Phoenix this election season. Cronkite News reporter Alex GAUL dug into where the cash is coming from and why it matters for the future of Arizona politics.
If you live in Arizona, it's been hard to escape these.
It's time for Washington to solve problems, not create more of them.
And these.
The most important election of a lifetime.
Political ads have been all over the airwaves in Phoenix in the run-up to the 2020 elections. But it wasn't always that way.
As a fourth-generation Arizonan, we used to not get one presidential ad in this state. Not one on television. Nothing. Zero. That started changing about 10 years ago.
Phoenix has seen a sharp uptick in political spending, starting with Barack Obama's first presidential bid in 2008. But even experts couldn't predict the record spending in 2020, even far down the ticket.
The advertising is getting a lot deeper, meaning that it's not just these big races. We saw a lot of advertising from different congressional districts. It's amazing at how important every seat is right now.
Rich Barone is the vice president at Cox Media, which serves over 1 million homes in the Phoenix market. Barone attributes the record spending levels to a changing Arizona electorate that's turning the traditionally red state purple.
I think what you're seeing is the Democratic Party senses a weakening in Arizona and is just going nonstop to try and flip it Democratic.
An analysis done by data firm Advertising Analytics ranked Phoenix the #1 individual political ad market in the country. edging out other battlegrounds like Pittsburgh, Orlando, and Detroit.
The most important part of Arizona from an electoral perspective, Maricopa County, is all within the Phoenix DMA. So you can really put all of your money into this one market instead of kind of diluting it across 6 or 7 markets like some of these other big states.
Advertising Analytics' data shows a large spending gap between Republicans and Democrats in Arizona, with Democrats outspending Republicans by over $65 million across the state's top 4 races this year.
It's not necessarily normal for Arizona, but it is kind of the trend of this year that we've seen across the board, all the way from the top of the ticket down to local races, is that Democratic candidates in particular are really fundraising really well.
And while over 1 million Arizonans have already cast their ballots, it's safe to say you'll be seeing more ads like this now and for the foreseeable future.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
In Phoenix, Alex Gaul, Cronkite.
Coming up on Cronkite News, Election 2020 Special. Live coverage from polling places. From Phoenix to Tucson to Flagstaff, we'll take you there live.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing. Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed, discover new favorites from PBS, and local content from your PBS station.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. And now, thanks to PBS Passport, you can travel with me and watch all 10 seasons of Rick Steves Europe and all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today and get your passport.
Welcome to another edition of Cronkite Sports Now. I'm Taylor Rocha. Let's talk sports.
For the latest on local sports and beyond, we've got you covered.
Let's do this thing.
We challenge reporters to go beyond, a game story. We want stories with depth.
It's just a crucial step from the college experience into the professional experience while you're still in school.
At Cronkite Sports Now, watch the journalists of tomorrow cover sports today.
I started watching Horizon. It was all about local, detailed information, interviewing representatives, the debates. It was all local, and having moved here from Minnesota, I really didn't have a lay of the land. So it was a way to get details on the new state I'd moved to. And I liked it. It wasn't combative, it was informative. It was just, here's the facts. That sucked me in quite quickly.
For more information about including Arizona PBS in your future plans, visit azpbs.org/giving.
Welcome back to this special edition of Cronkite News on Arizona PBS, where we're giving you the latest election 2020 news. Votes are being tallied in Maricopa County. Cronkite News politics reporter Dylan McKim is at the Maricopa County Tabulation Center with the latest. Dylan?
And we talked earlier this hour about those late earlies that they're going to have to count after today. And county officials told us here today that a lot of people were dropping off their mail-in ballots at polling stations around the county. Even here, we saw lines of cars coming into Maricopa County Election Central, placing their ballot in a drop-off box right outside the building. So all of those ballots are going to have to go through the same process that every mail-in ballot has to go through. They're going to have to go through signature verification and electronic adjudication. So it's going to take a lot of time, and it's not going to be done all by tonight. So starting tomorrow night, the Maricopa County Elections Department is going to be posting updated results on their website at 7 p.m. every night this week until results are final. In Phoenix, Dylan McKim, Cronkite News.
Earlier today, a polling station in North Phoenix ran into some problems, and it all started with a printer. According to poll workers, the printer at the MVD North Phoenix polling station was responsible for printing the ballots, lost connection to the server for about 15 to 20 minutes around noon. But once connection was restored, more problems arose.
It printed some ballots twice. And so people would be voting and they'd hear their name called again and they would, so I've already voted. So it was caught. I don't think it happened to a bunch of people. I didn't get that impression. And they may have printed up ballots a couple times extra, but they got everything and there's no way that anybody could have voted twice.
Despite the technological errors, they were able to get operations right back on track. No lines and a short wait time at Pilgrim Rest Baptist Church, where some people in downtown Phoenix cast their votes. A volunteer for election protection, a nonpartisan group of poll workers, says fewer people seem to be showing up compared to 4 years ago.
I think that's probably because a lot of people decided to vote either by mail-in or early, because I think people just wanted to make sure that their vote is counted.
Now we return to Arizona's second most populated city, Tucson. We've got crews in Pima County to see how the election process is working there. The Pascua Yaqui tribe in South Tucson has a hard time getting their vote counted. Some Native American individuals say that they fear facing discrimination when they go to cast their ballots.
Just this being a minority and being out in town and being scared. Worried for my kids, they look like a stereotype Native American, dark hair, dark skin, and being worried that if they're out on the street, they're going to get attacked just because of.
Although this may mainly be because of COVID-19, polling marshals say they are doing everything they can to keep voters safe, which includes letting people even vote from their cars. Cronkite News spoke with several individuals who emphasized how important it is to be voting in this year's election.
Ballots are being counted in Tucson as well. And let's check in with Mackenzie Allen Charmley with how things are going there.
Here at the Pima County Election Headquarters, something you may not know are the many, many safeguards put into place here at the headquarters to ensure an extra level of security and accuracy when it comes to counting your vote this election season. All of the tabulators and voting devices behind me have been checked prior to the election to ensure system accuracy, and we'll go through an additional check after the election is over to make sure that accuracy is the same as it was prior to the election. Besides additional surveillance and limited access to the counting room itself, the election will go through a hand count, and there is a specific policy in place regarding the political party representation of the counters in the room. There are 2 representatives from each party to have equal eyes and ears in the counting room to deal with any discrepancy that may come up. On top of that, again, if you want to watch your ballot be tabulated and counted, you can do so by watching a live stream on Pima County's official government website. In Tucson, Mackenzie Allen Charmley, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News reporter Abigail Verowick visited Flagstaff to cover how voting is being conducted there. Now to Abigail with those details.
The people of Flagstaff were anxious to get to the polls today to exercise their right to vote.
Now it's even more important than ever, especially with how high tensions are in this country.
The NAU location was off to a rocky start after a computer issue early this morning.
40 and 50 voters were not able to cast their regular ballot. They had to do provisional ballot.
Election protection worker Debbie Bachtel says that at around 6 o'clock, the computers were having trouble syncing, but were up and running after 7 a.m. Some residents are hopeful that the new president will act as a unifier.
Again, I just hope that despite what happens at the end of the day, our future president does everything in their power to keep us together instead of creating another civil war. Because how can we protect ourselves within our community, within our country, against the world, against the pandemic, if we don't all come together.
In Flagstaff, Abigail Verwick, Cronkite News.
The polls in Flagstaff and across the state closed at 7 p.m. tonight. Now, those votes are being tallied.
Our election coverage looks differently than it did 4 years ago. Back then, we had reporters live at watch parties for both Republicans and the Democrats. This year, due to COVID, our reporters are stationed at ballot tabulation centers where we can ensure social distancing. But you can count on Cronkite News and Arizona PBS to bring you for the latest from around the state on air and at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Coming up on Cronkite News, a look at the propositions on Arizona's ballots. What Proposition 207 and 208 include and how those decisions will affect Arizona.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing. Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and local content from your PBS station.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. I don't go anywhere without my passport. And now, thanks to PBS Passport, you can travel with me and watch all 10 seasons of Rick Steves Europe and all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today and get your passport.
Welcome to another edition of Cronkite Sports Now. I'm Taylor Rocha. Let's talk sports.
For the latest on local sports and beyond, we've got you covered.
Let's do this thing.
We challenge reporters to go beyond, a game story. We want stories with depth.
It's just a crucial step from the college experience into the professional experience while you're still in school.
At Cronkite Sports Now, watch the journalists of tomorrow cover sports today.
I started watching Horizon. It was all about local, detailed information, interviewing representatives, the debates. It was all local, and having moved here from Minnesota, I really didn't have a lay of the land, so it was a way to get details on the new state I'd moved to, and I liked it. It wasn't combative, it was informative. It was just, here's the facts. That sucked me in quite quickly.
For more information about including Arizona PBS in your future plans, visit azpbs.org/giving.
Voters are also deciding two statewide referendums. Proposition 208, known as Invest in Education Act, would impose an additional 3.5% income tax increase on individuals making over $250,000 or more in order to increase public education funding in Arizona. Cronkite News reporter Tyler Manning explains how this might impact Arizona's economy.
When we're talking about kids, every single dollar counts.
Experts on both sides of the issue agree the state needs to invest in education. The divide comes in when discussing Prop 208's effect on Arizona. Chad Heinrich, the state's NFIB director, points to potential effects on small business.
It's clear that the drafters of the initiative have never signed the front of a paycheck
because to think otherwise would mean that they were trying to take a direct assault against Arizona's small business economy, and I don't believe that that's their intention, but it is the result.
David Lujan, who supports Prop 208 and is the director of the Arizona Center for Economic Progress, says the tax won't affect most entrepreneurs in the state.
Prop 208 only taxes the wealthiest 1% of Arizona taxpayers. And so most small business owners are saying that they make nowhere near the taxable income to hit the thresholds by Prop 208.
The U.S. Small Business Administration reported that in 2016, the median salary for self-employed Arizonans with incorporated businesses was around $48,000. That means that if this 1 grain of rice represents $1,000, the average compares to the $250,000 threshold like this. That does not mean the rest of the economy won't be impacted, though.
I think there will be a dramatic impact on taxpayer behavior as a result of imposing these high tax rates on a handful of people.
Hoffman said that an estimated 40% of the people who will pay this tax are 60 or older, meaning they have likely come to Arizona to retire and would be willing to move out of the Grand Canyon state if their taxes increased.
As those millionaires leave, we're not just losing the red for ed taxes, we're losing the state's general fund revenue as they move as well.
Hoffman went on to say the proposition is a missed opportunity, and he wishes Arizona could have found another way to get education funding. But Carrie Wolf says something had to be done.
When it came down to it, we decided, you know what, if the legislatures, if Governor Ducey aren't going to provide that funding, then we're going to make sure we get it for our kids, because my students deserve the very best education possible.
The other statewide initiative on the ballot, Proposition 207, which would legalize the use of recreational marijuana. Taylor Tassler-Oatley looked into what this could mean for Arizona's economy if the prop passes.
On Arizona's ballot this year, Proposition 207 will legalize the use of recreational marijuana. A similar proposition failed in 2016. If passed, Arizona would be the 13th state to legalize recreational marijuana use. Smoke Wallen is the CEO and chairman for Vertical Wellness. He supports Prop 207. He believes that if it passes, it will help the economy, especially after the pandemic, and points to Colorado as an example.
They've generated billions of dollars of revenue, tons of revenue for the state and for lots of local communities, and a lot of that has been earmarked for education and other programs.
Lisa James, chairwoman for Arizonans for Health and Public Safety, opposes the passing of Prop 207. She says it won't help. It will actually hurt the economy.
First of all, the expected revenue did not come in as they projected. Second, even in Colorado, there's a specific study that shows that they are spending $4.50 on marijuana-related expenses for every dollar of revenue that's coming in. That math just doesn't add up.
James adds that the legalization of recreational marijuana increases teen use because it becomes more accessible and socially acceptable. Wallen, however, says teens are already getting marijuana illegally and legalizing it won't make a difference. A study by JAMA Pediatrics agrees and found that in states where recreational marijuana was legalized, there was an 8% decrease in the likelihood of teens trying marijuana, along with a 9% decrease in the odds of frequent marijuana usage. Aside from legalizing recreational marijuana, Prop 207 would also allow individuals with convictions of marijuana possession, consumption, or transportation of 2.5 ounces or less to be expunged from their record. Raul Molina, co-founder and senior vice president of operations at the Mint Dispensary, says that this is a move in the right direction.
This is a baby step, and it's not even a baby step. It's a little bit better than a baby step, but it is a push in the right direction. I think that further decriminalization and a little more working on that side of the bill should be coming sometime soon.
Currently in Arizona, any marijuana charge is a felony, but the court can make the charge a misdemeanor if the judge determines the sentence would be too harsh. Taylor Tassler-Oatley, Cronkite News.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and local content from your PBS station.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. Thanks to PBS Passport, you can watch all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love.
And for a look at the numbers coming in by county, we turn to Cronkite News reporter Tyler Mannion, who's here to break it all down. Tyler?
Yeah, we're going to take a look back at what happened county by county in Arizona in 2016. We know the most important one, Maricopa County. That's because 60% approximately of the voters come from Maricopa County. That's where Phoenix is. So look at the data from 2016. President Donald Trump winning by 2.9 points. That's a slim margin. Joe Biden is going to be looking to flip that or decrease that gap moving to this election. If we go down to Tucson and Pima County, right here, you're going to see Hillary Clinton won that by almost 14 points. Joe Biden's going to be looking to increase that gap if he's hoping to win Arizona. Remember, President Donald Trump won Arizona in 2016. It's been red since 1996, since Bill Clinton won it, and Joe Biden is looking to make it blue for the first time since then. If we go up to Coconino County, where Flagstaff is, Hillary Clinton cleaned up here. She won by nearly 20 points, and it still wasn't enough to win Arizona. Why? Well, it's because when you look at the smaller counties, when we look, for example, over here in La Paz County, Donald Trump winning by a massive margin. Yes, it's a smaller county. Yes, the population is smaller, but he's winning by these big margins in places like La Paz County and in places like Graham County. Look at this margin. Donald Trump winning 65% to 27%. This was happening all over the state of Arizona, and Joe Biden's going to need to change this. Mojave County, an incredible nearly 50% margin. Joe Biden's going to need to shrink that if he hopes to flip the Grand Canyon state. As we can see, this is what it looked like in 2016. Democrats are hoping it changes now.
President Trump has said his tweets are the only way he can get a message directly to voters. But candidates and campaigns are not the only ones using social media to spread the word, as Cronkite News reporter Carolina Hassett reports from our Washington bureau.
Gearing up for a big election, there are many ways to motivate people to vote.
This is our moment. This is our mission. The best is yet to come. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
But to Arizona TikToker Muscles and Nursing, that's just noise. He thinks there's a better way.
I listen better to my people than, those people who are running the campaigns. I think you can have more of an impact with that.
Because TikTok does not allow political ads, experts agree the app lets people connect and educate each other on issues and candidates without interference from politicians, which may influence voters more.
People are connecting in different ways than they have before. And just getting an ad on TV is not going to move a voter.
Campbell thinks social media gives candidates the opportunity to connect with their voters before sending in their ballots.
We have all seen Kamala Harris coming off the plane in her Converse. We have seen that video over and over and over again, and you connect with her as a candidate when you are a 30-something-year-old wearing your own Converse.
With over 47,000 followers, Phoenix TikToker Rye Taylor uses her platform to encourage those who may feel alone when it comes to certain political issues.
I feel like it's important to let people know that they're not the only ones who feel that way,
or want to vote the way that they vote.
Arizona political consultant Paul Bentz has seen the power of TikTok firsthand. Because of the app, he says his young daughters know
more about this election than I ever knew as a 14-year-old, and I have to assume at least some of that comes from avenues like TikTok.
The Trump administration has threatened to ban the Chinese-developed app as a security risk, but users say they will find ways to share on the app because of what it gives them.
I am a Latina woman and I am lesbian. And I feel like it's important that people understand that they're voting for human rights at this point.
I'm not voting for one person or another. I'm voting for somebody who believes in science and is going to protect nurses.
While the Trump administration has said several times it would ban TikTok, fans are confident it will be around for a long time to come.
Coming up next on Cronkite News, a live look at the ballot counting underway. We'll get updates from Maricopa County and Pima counties next on Cronkite News.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed, discover new favorites from PBS, and local content from your PBS station.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. Thanks to PBS Passport, you can watch all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love.
The march is on to that all-important 207. Let's see where things stand with Tyler Mannion at our Google touchscreen.
On the road to 270, we're looking now with the Associated Press's live updates. Show you a few important things really quick. Florida, very close right now, a lot of votes in. You can see just a 3-point difference. We're going to move out. Go to Texas. We know we're talking about states we talked about earlier in the show that are very, very important. Texas, a lot of votes in as well. You can see that over 8 million votes, 2-point difference for President Donald Trump. Florida was also in his favor. We're going to go up the coast now to the east, Pennsylvania. Just over 1 million votes in Pennsylvania. You can see Montgomery County where Philadelphia is, Allegheny County where Pittsburgh is. That's where Joe Biden is leading, those big counties, those big cities. But Joe Biden is not leading by that much in the rest of the state. This is where Donald Trump won in 2016, was this area right up here. He dominated this area of Pennsylvania and rural America in general, which is what he needs to do. We're not going to get a hint on Pennsylvania just yet, but we can use Ohio to give us an idea of what might happen. So when we look at eastern Ohio, that tells us a little bit of about what western Pennsylvania will do, and that's going to be our cue. Guys, it's close.
We've got the latest information from Maricopa County, Arizona's largest county. And Cronkite News political reporter Faith Abercrombie has the details. Faith?
As Dylan mentioned, those late early ballots are still being tabulated. The verification process and adjudication tasks must be done before a ballot is considered official. This process is necessary for all votes to be counted. For example, a voter with an unmatched signature, it can take up to 5 business days, 7 days total, to get that signature verified. We are quickly approaching that 8 o'clock deadline. This time, all of the results will start to be coming in on the Maricopa County Election Department's website. After tonight, those updates will be posted at 7 p.m. And after that, we will follow along on our Twitter. You can follow us at Cronkite News or Maricopa Vote to see these ballot results. County officials said today went fairly smooth for an election day, but we are fastly approaching these new results. In Phoenix, Cronkite News, Faith Abercrombie.
And now the latest in Pima County. Cronkite News reporter Alex GAUL joins us now. Alex?
Hey guys, we're still here in Pima County, which is expected to release the results of about 400,000 early and absentee ballots that were submitted to this polling location right behind me. Crews have been going in and out of the central ballot counting room behind me all day long. Of course, the new procedures have allowed them to count these ballots as early as possible and earlier than ever before in this state, so they can hope to release most of these ballot results tonight. Now, of course, the ballots that are coming in today from polling locations will also be counted, and that's what's happening right now behind me in that central ballot counting room. You can watch the results come in here in Pima County as the night goes on the recorder's website. But for now, we're live in Tucson. Alex GAUL, Cronkite News.
Stay with Arizona PBS for all your election 2020 coverage. Stay right here on 8.3 for Indian Country Today's election coverage until 10 p.m. PBS NewsHour's national coverage is on now through 10 p.m. on Arizona PBS 8.1. And after that, stay tuned for Arizona Horizon's local election coverage from 10 to 11.
That's it for Cronkite News special election coverage. Thanks for joining us.
For election coverage and top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.